Well, if it isn't TedNivison, congratulations on your big new video. So, you have a live studio audience experience tied to film school, huh? You think that makes you special? You think you're the only one? Well, you're not. Let's talk about it. Hi, I'm Gregor Scott, and the other day I watched the latest video by internet milkman and destroyer of kneecaps, TedNivison. In this video, Ted talks about an experience that he had as a member of a live studio audience, and well, I have to say, the video really inspired me. With horrific, Vietnam-esque flashback memories. These memories were enough for me to decide to do something that I've never done before, and that's make a reply video. You know, like the ones you used to see on YouTube back in 2008, except without the, in the thumbnail. But before we get into this video, let's get one thing out of the way. Seeing as my username is Gregor The Scot, it should come as no surprise to anybody when I say that I live slap bang in the middle of the bright, sunny land of Scotland. Seeing as I live roughly 5,000 miles away from the nearest Hollywood studio, some of you are probably wondering how I could have a live studio experience. Well, my story of course takes place in the magical world of the British Broadcasting Corporation, also known as the BBC. So let me take you back to when my classmates and I could still attend our college course in person. One day, the head of our course, who I'll call Faye, burst through the door of our class with some exciting news. She told us that a friend of hers was the director of a brand new dating/talent show for BBC Scotland and offered all of us the chance to stand in on production as members of the live studio audience. One by one, we were asked whether or not we wanted to take part, and the decision was almost unanimous. Everybody said yes, except for me. In my defense, I've never been a fan of reality TV, and I didn't really see the benefit of sitting in the crowd of a reality TV show. But when I told this to Faye, she assured me that the experience would be beneficial. We would all get a behind-the-scenes look at a BBC production, and possibly even a chance to meet the crew. This information, along with a healthy dose of peer pressure, was enough to change my mind, and so in the end, I put my name down as well. Fast forward to the big day, our entire class piles into a coach and we take off for Glasgow city centre. The shoot was set to take place in a nightclub on the top floor of one of the old city buildings, and so we all stood in a line outside waiting to be let in. The suffering had just begun. One by one we were let in just to stand in another line, this time spiralling all the way up the stairwell inside the building. At the top of the stairwell, the line passed by a cloakroom, and we had been told on the way in that no personal belongings were allowed into the studio itself. That means no bags and no jackets. I've always been pretty skeptical of these kind of checkpoints. I always imagine the attendants like fleecing the jacket when no one's looking, or worse still, giving someone else my jacket by mistake. But I had come this far, and so I begrudgingly handed my jacket over. Finally, I was standing outside the door to the studio itself. At this point, I'd been on my feet for I'd say 30 to 40 minutes, and so already they were starting to get a little sore. So I was looking forward to walking in and taking my seat. Oh, sweet Neptune. Let me describe the layout of this room for you. On the back wall of the room there was a music stage, and extending out from it was a catwalk. On the left hand side of the room was a bar, and on the right side there was a raised platform where all the camera equipment was set up. This meant that all of us had to cram into the spaces between the bar, the catwalk and the camera equipment, and it was standing room only. What was it you said, TedNivison, about your nightmare experience?
Sort of what I expected of a live studio audience. Basically just a bunch of chairs put on some collapsible risers.
Oh, chairs. Cool, man. Well, hey, at least you had a chair to sit on, Ted. Once I took my place at the left side of the room, I could get a good view of what had been behind us as we walked in. On the opposite side of the room from the stage, just past the end of the catwalk, I could almost make out the production station where the director, production manager, audio engineers and others were hard at work on the show. I say almost because almost the entire thing was covered by a massive black wall with 3 colourful arches. I'd suddenly gotten a really good idea of what I was in for that day. With the production crew out of sight, the entire afternoon booked for filming, and not even a chance to rest my legs, I knew just how painful this experience was going to be, and just how little I was going to get out of it. It was at that moment that I decided my mission for the day. If I was going to be asked to stand for TV, I was going to make damn sure that I got on TV. After about 10 minutes, the production manager finally walked out on stage. He was about the most stereotypical production manager you could imagine. He had a clipboard in one hand, and the other hand kept going up to his earpiece as he talked to the people behind the scenes. He fortunately didn't try to tell jokes and make us laugh, like in TedNivison's case, but he did tell us to laugh, and to smile, and to cheer, and to scream. He was farming reaction takes for the camera so that they could be edited into the show in post. Now, I don't know if this is a common practice in reality TV. I don't even know if they used any of these takes for the show in the end, but I just find the idea really funny that these kinds of programs are so fake that even the audience reactions are faked. As a quick aside, by the way, I'm sorry that I don't have more concrete evidence of this show, because as far as I can tell, it is gone from the internet. The BBC has a policy where their programme VODs are only up for 30 days before they're taken down. And since, as far as I know, nobody bothered to record it or pirate it, the show is basically lost media at this point, which is a bit of a shame. The best that I have to work with is a few ghostly remnants of the show. A few social media posts, a couple of clips, and the opening cinematic uploaded by its creator. So here we go. With my goal of getting this ugly mug onto television, did I manage it?
There he is! There's my favorite
Scottish man.
Yes, I did. Even in the few remaining clips online, you can see me putting my plan into action. We were instructed to dance as the songs played to give the whole recording sort of a party atmosphere, and I busted a move. I danced my freaking heart out. I was doing the Christian two-step like you've never seen the Christian two-step. I used the moments of applause to work on two of my best reaction faces. I'm so shocked and surprised face, and I'm really, really impressed and pretty cool face. And it totally worked. I unfortunately don't have any video copies of the moments that I got full frame attention, but you can see in this screenshot, there I am, plain as day. The recording session ended up running for about 4 hours, and by the end my legs genuinely felt like they were gonna fall off. As a thank you for attending, we were all given a voucher for a free drink at the staff bar. Instead of going to grab a drink though, I decided to go and follow some of my friends to see if we could find a member of the production team to talk to. So at the very least, this whole experience wasn't for nothing. We actually ended up managing to talk to one of the camera operators. He was a pretty cool guy. He told us all a story about how he was held hostage at a wrestling event in Abu Dhabi or something. That was pretty interesting. Unfortunately though, before we could really get deep into the questions or find another member of the staff to talk to, we were all told that we had to leave and unceremoniously dumped back out onto the street with our bags and jackets, ready to go home. So there you go, my nightmare live studio audience experience. I want to be super clear that I don't regret the experience. I'm very grateful to Faye for giving me the opportunity. And once me and my friends got into dancing and doing our best to get onto TV, we actually had a lot of fun with it. And at the end of it all, we even learnt a valuable lesson. If you're going to be in a live studio audience, make sure they have chairs. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have a similar experience, please let me know down in the comments. I'm going to read all of them. And to TedNivison, if you're watching at this point, thank you so much for the inspiration to tell this story. The experience that you talked about in your video sounded pretty bad, but at least now you know it could have been much worse.